Here's a 1,000-word short story about a dog. The dog who found his way home. Max was no ordinary dog. He had lived a life of luxury, curled up on a warm couch in a small but cozy home with his owner, Emma. She had rescued him from the streets as a pup, and since then, Max had known nothing but love. He enjoyed morning walks, belly rubs, and the smell of Emma's cooking. But life, as Max knew it, was about to change. One autumn afternoon, as Emma took Max to the park, he spotted a squirrel darting through the grass. His instincts took over, and before he knew it, he was running faster than he ever had. He chased the squirrel through the trees, dodging people and other dogs until he lost sight of it. When he finally stopped, panting and looking around, he realized something terrifying. Emma was gone. Max's ears perked up as he sniffed the air. He turned in circles, searching for the familiar scent of his human. But the park was full of people, and the scents overlapped, confusing him. Panic set in. His tail tucked between his legs, he whimpered and began to walk, hoping his paws would lead him back home. Hours passed. The sun began to set, casting long shadows on the pavement. Max was tired, hungry, and scared. He had never been on his own before. He walked through streets he didn't recognize, past towering buildings and unfamiliar cars. He barked at people, but most ignored him, assuming he was just another stray. As night fell, Max found himself in an alleyway behind a restaurant. The smell of food made his stomach growl. He hesitated before approaching a group of dogs huddled near a dumpster. They were strays, thin, scarred, and wary of newcomers. One of them, a large German Shepherd mix with a torn ear, stepped forward. "You lost, pup," the dog growled. Max hesitated before nodding. "I'm looking for my human," he said. The other dogs exchanged glances. "Humans don't come looking for lost dogs like us," the shepherd said. "You'd better get used to it." Max refused to believe that. Emma would never abandon him. He just had to find his way back. The dogs let him stay for the night, sharing scraps of food they had scavenged, but he was determined. At sunrise, he would continue his search. The next morning, Max set off again. He followed the scent of fresh bread, hoping it would lead him somewhere familiar. As he walked through the city, he encountered kind strangers, an old woman who gave him a piece of toast, a little girl who patted his head, but none of them were Emma. Days passed. Max grew thinner. His paws ached. He had never known hunger like this. He had never known loneliness. One evening, as he wandered near a bus stop, he heard a familiar voice. "Max?" His ears shot up. He turned sharply, his heart racing. There, standing just a few feet away, was Emma. Her eyes were red from crying, and she clutched a missing dog poster in her hands. Max let out a joyous bark and ran to her, tail wagging furiously. She dropped to her knees, wrapping her arms around him, sobbing into his fur. "Oh, Max, I thought I lost you forever," she cried. Max licked her face, whining happily. He had found his way home. That night, Max lay curled up in his familiar bed, safe and warm once more. He had been lost, but his love for Emma had guided him back, and as he drifted off to sleep, he knew he would never take home for granted again. Would you like me to expand any part of the story?